Hello, everyone. Welcome to my booth. So, I'm going to be talking about the hate crimes towards the Hispanic community. I'm going to be touching upon three events, and at the end, I'll do an overview. So, first, we're going to start with the mass shooting. So, this is an anti Hispanic mass shooting in El Paso, Texas, when a 21-year-old white man, Patrick Cruces, was accused of driving more than 11 hours through Texas to kill Hispanics at an El Paso Walmart on August 3rd, 2019. Cruces was charged with capital murder for the attack that left at least 20 people dead and 26 injured. Cruces surrendered to the police as he drove away saying, "I am the shooter." But later on during his trials, he pleaded not guilty to a capital murder charge, contradicting the plea that he made following the shooting. He also confessed to the investigators that he planned the rampage and made the drive from his home in Allen, Texas, a Dallas suburb, to the border city with the intention of targeting Mexicans. The store is for it's a popular destination among Mexican tourists who cross into the US from the neighboring city of Juarez. The Department of Justice has called the shooting an act of domestic terrorism, and federal authorities say that they are investigating possible hate crimes charges. Also, a fun fact: the shooting, this shooting, is considered one of the nation's deadliest shootings and the deadliest attacks on Latinos in modern U.S. history. And to the top left, you will see a picture of Patrick Cruces, and then the bottom it's like a little memorial by Walmart. So here is I'm gonna show you a video of the shooting, and you will hear some gun noises. So like if you don't like that, then try to not listen to it. Okay, here we go. Active shooter. This is disgusting, intolerable. It's not Texan, and we are going to aggressively prosecute it both as capital murder, but also as a hate crime, which is exactly what it appears to be. We have to be very, very clear that conduct like this, thoughts like this, actions like this, crimes like this are not who or what Texas is and will not be accepted here. Okay. Now we're gonna move on to Lisandro Guzman. So his full name is Lisandro Guzman Feliz, and he's also known as Junior. He was killed in a brutal gang attack outside of a Bronx bodega, which is a small corner grocery store. Junior was 15 years old, and he was walking alone at about 11:40 p.m. on June 20th, 2018, and was mistaken by a rival gang believed to be the Trinitarios gang and was attacked. He was also captured in a video, which I will show you later, in which he was frantically running for his life. He ran into a bodega and begged the clerk to let him hide behind the counter once he went in, and the members of the Trinitario gang charged in and dragged Junior out onto the sidewalk, where they hacked him with a machete, which is a knife usually used to cut sugarcane. Bleeding and all, he ran towards a nearby hospital but collapsed and bled to death before he could get help. The police later on determined that the gang members had mistaken Junior for someone else, since the gang were hunting for enemies and thought Lisandro was a member of a rival group. 5 gang members were sentenced and found guilty of murder and assault, those being Mr. Martinez, who struck the fatal blow, was sentenced for life in prison without parole, and the rest of the members were accused of carrying attacks with knives. Then at the top left, you see a picture. It's like a painting drawn for Lisandro Guzman, and the bottom you also see like candles lit up for him by the bodega. And then the next is going to be a video. First, I want to show you this picture. Oh no. Let's see. So this picture, you could see that the first gang member was charged with life without parole. The second column, 3 of them were charged 25 years to life. In the last column, you see 23 years to life. And then in this video, you're going to see a little bit of blood. So if you don't like that, then try to not look at it. And then let's watch the video.
I'm suffering every day. I wake up every night 2 or 3 times a night. Just looking my son, looking Junior.
Leandra Feliz drives to St. Raymond's Cemetery 7 days a week,
I have to come.
carrying a keychain that reminds her of a smiling 15-year-old.
He with me all the time.
She leans on her older son, Manny, for support. But she's tormented by what she doesn't know about her youngest son's last minutes alive. The police complaint for Junior's murder is numbered 2018-48-004764. 48 stands for the 48th precinct. It's the place where every alleged gang member was processed during an initial roundup of suspects that took nearly 3 weeks.
He has what appears to be a machete in his hand.
Now, for the first time, Pix 11 is showing you the final leg of the 4-block chase that led to Junior's murder. It's the first time you're seeing Junior's desperate dash, the teen emerging into view under the streetlights of Bathgate Avenue, as a white Acura and another car are right on his heels, 2 other cars nearby. Pix 11 has reviewed at least a dozen different camera angles that show various perspectives of the chase and what happened inside and outside the bodega. This video from 543 East 183rd Street picks up the last block of the hunt for Junior. Suspects identified as Jose Muniz in the white t-shirt, Jose Tavares dressed in black, and Danelle Fernandez wearing a green do-rag are walking or running with steely-eyed conviction. You can see a quick flash on the right in this camera angle. That's Junior trying to reach the bodega. The first suspect was only 4 seconds behind Junior, Tavares peering over the counter and doubling back outside to summon others. The suspect identified as Janaiki Martinez Estrella in a red hat, moving to a corner and tucking a huge knife under his red shirt. Inside, an irate Michael Sosa Reyes, in a black baseball hat and shirt, falsely tells the owner that Junior had attacked his grandmother, according to an investigative source. Sosa ends up leaving the shop. Just before an FDNY ambulance cruises slowly past the bodega, oblivious to what's happening inside. It is 19 seconds before Junior will be dragged to the sidewalk. It took at least 10 seconds to pull Junior away from the back counter, the panicked teen knocking over a potato chip stand as he struggled to stay inside. Camera 1 in the cereal aisle shows Junior desperately trying to grab the ATM machine before the owner and others wave the group outside. Two hospital employees holding hands have just passed the front door when Junior is pulled outside to be murdered. Police say the frenzied attack took 20 seconds, starting with Muniz hacking at the teen with a machete and Elvin Garcia, a scarf over his face, plunging a knife into Junior 5 to 8 times. The lethal cut, police say, came from Martinez Estrella, seen pushing Junior toward the bodega's door when the mob was finished. Two store employees jumped back from the doorway as a mortally wounded Junior stumbled to the counter, seeking help, the blood from the vicious neck wound spilling to the floor. An elderly customer waiting to buy chips and soda seems annoyed as he points Junior towards St. Barnabas Hospital a block away. The owner tearfully said in late June that he was startled by the crowd bursting into the store and did call 911.
Tried to hold him. I don't know what's going on.
Yet seconds after Junior cried out into the night sky about needing an ambulance, almost keeling over, the elderly customer inside the deli was determined to finish his sale, waving dollars at the owner who was on the phone. Modesto Cruz gave the customer his chips and soda. A crowd was gathering outside the store. Junior had just used his last ounce of strength to run feebly up the block toward St. Barnabas Hospital, and as you can see, the dying teen crossed 3rd Avenue, a block from the bodega, and collapsed near the security booth, where he bled to death before he had a chance to make it to the emergency room. He was already gone when his mother got to the ER. It is very difficult to watch the footage from.
Okay, so now we're moving on to Natalia Miranda. So Natalia Miranda, she's a 14-year-old who got run over by an SUV just a few weeks before Christmas as she walked to her school, Indian Hills Junior High School. Before Natalia's incident, the SUV driver, 42-year-old Nicole Marie Franklin, had been using racial and ethnic slurs against an employee at a gas station. The police later told Miranda's family on how this incident was purposely simply because Natalia looked Mexican. Franklin was arrested in December and remains in jail with no bond, facing 2 charges of attempted murder, 1 count of assault, and 1 count of assault violation. And these charges stem from 3 separate incidents, one of those being involving Natalia and a black teen, and one related to the racial slurs that were yelled at the gas station attendant. So at the top left, you see a picture of Natalia in the hospital bed and her siblings. And then she only suffered a concussion and a few fractures around her body. So she was able to go home. And you see the picture at the bottom of her being able to stand up with her crutches and go home. So now we're going to move on to the overview. Okay, so all of these 3 events, along with others, have shown the hatred towards the Hispanic community, not only by those who dislike Latinos, but also, as shown in the Junior case, by Hispanic gangs themselves. An FBI report mentioned how, for Latino crimes, they have risen 13% over 1 year and 48% over 5 years, according to their crime stats. This is why peace and support within the Hispanic community, along with other communities, is important to have. We should all teach each other about such events and unite as one. And that is all for my presentation. Thank you for coming to my booth.